Thank you, Mr. Lovelady, and once again, on behalf of both the committees that are here, we want to extend our sympathy to you, Maureen, and the families of Victor. I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes for questions, and then we will proceed through each committee member. I want to start with the basics regarding both Benghazi and the attack in Algeria. Did we know before the attack in Benghazi? Did we know before the attack in Algeria that it was going to occur? After the attacks are over with, do we know who committed the attack in Benghazi and Algeria? If we do know, where are those people that committed those attacks? So those are 3 questions, and I'll throw that out to all of the committee members. Mr. Bynum, you want to start first?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I should stress that my knowledge of this comes from unclassified sources, and I'm sure much of value is in the classified realm. My understanding, certainly of the Benghazi attack, was that it was widely known that it was a very dangerous threat environment before the attack. In terms of the specifics of the plot, to my knowledge, that was not anticipated by the U.S. government from almost everything I've seen, including the reported actions of Ambassador Stevens. In Algeria, I believe it slightly differently. Algeria, including the energy sector, had historically been a relatively safe area. Now, we need several caveats when we say that, because Algeria itself has had huge terrorism problems, especially in the 1990s. Another thing to remark on is Algeria's role, albeit limited, in supporting the French effort in Mali.
Excuse me, Dr. Bynum, can you cut to the chase? Did we know about the attack in Algeria before it occurred? I'm talking about the United States. And the second question is, do we know who committed it? And if so, have those people been apprehended? That's the 3 questions regarding both places, since the time is limited.
I would say in Algeria, sir, that we knew there was a dangerous threat environment, but again, did not anticipate the attack. Afterwards, we know some of the individuals involved, to my knowledge, but I don't believe we know all of them. There is still some uncertainty, and to my knowledge, they have not been apprehended.
Mr. Zellin, you want to weigh in on those 3 questions?
Sure. In both cases, I'm unsure that the U.S. government was aware that they were going to occur at that specific time. In terms of who did what in Benghazi, there was a statement put out by Ansar al-Sharia in Libya within about 12 hours of the attack saying that they themselves did not order anything, but the way it was worded suggested that members of the group were involved. So it could have been some type of freelancing. And then in terms of the In Amenas attack, Mukhtar Bil-Mukhtar's group claim responsibility for it, and it's believed that some of the members in his group with him were a part of it. And currently, it's believed that Mukhtar Bil-Mukhtar is either in northern Niger or in southern Libya, but unsure. And then the members of Ansar al-Sharia are still in Benghazi.
So has anybody in either attack been apprehended, to your knowledge?
I'm not aware of that. And in the case of Mukhtar Bil-Mukhtar, we've seen that he's conducted other operations in northern Niger a couple of months ago, or maybe a month ago.
Mr. Garstein.
So as to preserve your time, Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything to add to my colleagues. I agree with them.
You made a comment, Dr. Bynum, that kind of irritated me, in that you said that the terrorists in North Africa look at the United States policy since both of these actions, Algeria and then first Benghazi, as a retreat from the area, and that the United States, if I got your comments correctly, has cowardice regarding this issue. So that irritates me. You want to explain that word cowardice and what you mean by that?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize for irritating you.
No, it's okay. It's not the first time.
First time I've done it, I hope. Sir, in the past, bin Laden would point specifically to the marine bombing, the bombing of the Marine barracks in Lebanon, and also to Somalia, as proof that if you hit the United States hard, it will leave a country. In Benghazi, in particular, my fear is that if what happened in Benghazi leads to a drawdown of the broader U.S. diplomatic and intelligence presence in North Africa, that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll be hearing Benghazi added to this list. And it's a way of encouraging his followers, sir, that he says that hit the United States and they run. I hope that's not so, sir.
My last question to all of you, do any of you know of the, whether it's true or not that regarding Algeria that the United States had forces in the general area before the attack and right after the attack?
I have no knowledge of that, sir.
Mr. Zeldin?
Neither do I.
Dr. Byman?
Nor I, sir.
And lastly, Mr. Lovelady, do you have any other thing that your brother Victor told you that you haven't already told us before he was killed in the plant in Algeria?
No, sir, I don't. I just do pretty much, so I spoke with him very little. And the information I've got was from the FBI on how he died and what was happening when he died.
And he told you he was already captured by what group or what?
He told me he was captured by Al-Qaeda.
All right. Thank you very much. 5 minutes for the ranking member, Mr. Sherman.